Hey friends, so we're back for another episode of Katherine's Quarters, and we have so much to get to. We have NFL, we have MLB, we have NBA. Let's get right down to it. So let's start with the undefeated teams. Obviously, you know who one of them is. The New England Patriots. Tom Brady passing to whoever and Julian Edelman at any given time, any day. Bill Belichick just running the offense, running the team just however, and it always seems to work. And then there's the defense. The defense has been the biggest improvement. They are just playing. Stephon Gilmore is playing out of this world. Just amazing. So, of course, it's the Patriots. They pass all over you, they run all over you, whatever they need to do to win the game. And you don't even feel bad about it because it's Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, and them. You can't get mad about losing to a champion. 6-time champion. How do you get mad at that? But can you guess who the other undefeated team in the NFL is? The San Francisco 49ers. I just don't feel like anybody saw this coming. The first couple of games weren't great. They weren't great wins, but they recently beat the Browns, who we always thought were going to be, coming into the season, we thought the Browns were going to be this, top-notch offense, top-notch defense, and we just thought they were going to be great, and they have looked. But they came and they also beat the Los Angeles Rams. Mind you, the Los Angeles Rams are reigning NFC champions. Man, Sean McVay, who everybody has deemed a football god at his young age, went in and literally held them to 157 yards of total offense. There's 4 quarters in a football game. 150 yards, 57 yards of total offense. San Francisco, if they can keep this rolling, and their next game is against the Redskins, they're definitely going to win that one. They're going to go into the mid-season and they're going to be in a pretty good spot. The San Francisco 49ers are currently undefeated, but we'll see how long that lasts. And we know the Patriots could go 16-0 if they really wanted to. 2 undefeated teams left. And then, of course, we have the Bengals and we have the Miami Dolphins, who are the only teams in the NFL who have not won at least one single game. I mean, at least the Redskins have won one game. But we all know what the Miami Dolphins have going on. They are just vying for the top spot in the draft. And then, of course, the Bengals, they want to be good. So, of course, next, I'm going to talk about the NFC East. Eagles, Cowboys, all tied up 3-3. Both teams have injuries on both sides of the ball, offensive weapons, defensive guys who are super important. Sunday Night Football, we play each other at Jerry World. We, you know what I mean by we, I've said this before in my vlogs, we go to Jerry World. And it feels like it's going to be for all of the marbles. We are only at week 7, but it feels like in all of the marbles type of conversation that we're having whenever we're talking about the Eagles and the Cowboys. We play them twice a year. Division games are always exciting, but this one feels, because they're both 3-3. And they both have just we got Carson, they got Dak, they got Zeke, we got a mixture of guys, and then Deshaun Jackson is still out, and Alshon Jeffrey is back, which is great. We're going to get Ronald Darby and Jalen Mills back on defense. Division games are so insane. Carson Wentz has not been playing his best football, but he hasn't been playing his worst either. And Dak Prescott has actually been playing, average quarterback football, which is fine for Dak Prescott, so totally okay. Zeke has not been himself. I don't want this to be the game that Zeke comes back in, but Zeke has not been himself. That defense has been but okay. There are so many parts of me that don't want to watch it, but one of my best friends is coming into town. My other best friend is a Cowboys fan. I don't know how I still like them. It just happened like that. But I've made the executive decision that I'm going to watch the game with them. I'm starting to feel like that's a bad idea. This weekend is going to be so stressful because of this game, and now I'm deciding to go watch the game with Cowboys fans. This could end up really ugly because these games get so intense. Sunday night, 8:25. You guys, please follow me on Twitter to make sure that I am still alive because I may not be breathing, but I will be tweeting. And if you don't see me tweeting, something has gone awry. This team gets sole number 1 spot holding, trash talking abilities for the NFC East. And it needs to be the Eagles. But I won't lie, I'm nervous. Hopefully we can pull out this win. We shall see. Maybe I'll have 2 friends after this weekend. Maybe I won't. It'll all be sorted out next week, guys. we'll figure it out. But as always, guys, the NFC East is like super wide open. Like, even though we talk about the Redskins not being very good, and we talk about the Giants and they're just kind of like there with Daniel Jones, and they are going to eventually get Saquon Barkley back. So maybe there's a chance, because it's not like they've lost every single game they played this season. So maybe they get Saquon Barkley back, they can get something else moving with this season. So like, this season, especially in the NFC East, is nowhere near over, like not even close. So it's just going to be interesting to see how this like all ends up panning out. So let's talk about some other things in the NFL. I mentioned before that the Browns have not been playing well. Like, to start this vlog, like when I first started the channel, I was talking about how the Browns were going to be something to watch, and it was going to be exciting to see this offense just get it grooving and get it moving together with Odell, Jarvis, and Nick, and it was going to be great. And they have come out here and they have been such a disappointment. They have really not been good. And while they have a bye this week, the next game that they play is going to be against the undefeated New England Patriots. And because the New England Patriots are about to go play the Jets this week, they're going to go into that game with the Browns at 7-0. How do we figure this out? Because there's a breakdown somewhere, and you have too good of an offense. Like, you have too many things going good for you on offense that eventually break down. That we have to, somewhere there's blame. Somewhere. Freddie? Is it you? So let's also talk about the fact that Jalen Ramsey has finally gotten what he wants. Jalen Ramsey is now going to be a part of the Los Angeles Rams defense. They gave Jalen Ramsey to the Rams, but they also got, like, totally, the Jaguars won in this. The Jaguars got like first round picks, and they got like 3 or 4 different picks, and I think it might be a first rounder, a couple second rounders, or something like that. You know, the Los Angeles Rams, they kind of like are in need to like get something going. So maybe Jalen Ramsey can be that spark. Like, maybe Jalen Ramsey can come in and like get them back together. I don't know that I believe that that's Jalen Ramsey's like his shtick or his steez or his thing, or like I come in to save the day type of deal, but maybe this is something that'll light a fire back under the Los Angeles Rams and get them back in this thing, because if they want to make a playoff run, they're gonna have to get something together. Like, the NFC is this, like, there's a lot of teams that have improved, and there are a lot of teams that are still good. So you kind of have to like stay on your toes, and you have to be good, like week in and week out, and you have to be competing. And the Rams have just like, they haven't looked right. So maybe this will be the spark that gets them back in it, because the NFC is going to be a tough division. Like, it's just what it is. The Washington Nationals literally just swept the St. Louis Cardinals to make it to the first World Series in franchise history ever. Like, how exciting is that? And it's like a reason when things like this happen, like in 2018 when the Capitals won the Stanley Cup, like, it was, the city was crazy. It's so fun to be around. And so for the World Series, like, there's going to be a World Series game in DC, and that is going to bring so much life and energy to give sports fans something to cheer for. It's great that the Washington Nationals are going to make it after the season that they've had. Like, Bryce Harper leaves in the offseason to go play for the Phillies. Now he's on the outside looking in. That's going to be hilarious. You should see the memes that have come out of this, and like all of the tweets that have been like trolling Bryce Harper for leaving the Nationals and going to go play for the Phillies. And now the Nationals are going to be in their first World Series ever. In May, everybody was counting them out. In the end of the summer, everybody was counting them out. And then they come and they just put on like dominant performances. So Washingtonians, come 9 days from now, we all will collectively be cheering for the Nationals to win their first World Series ever in franchise history. All right, friends, so we've made it to the what to watch segment of my show. This is just games that we should keep an eye out for, news that we should be watching out for that's going to probably develop, and boy, do I have 2 doozies for you. The game I'm going to tell you to watch first is going to be the Eagles-Cowboys game. Sunday night football, always a good time. It's going to be a great matchup, division rivals. It's for all the marbles. I'm telling you right now, it's for all the marbles. And it's going to be a great one. So you need to watch. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. I will be tweeting up a storm, especially for that specific game. Lamar Jackson has really made a pretty big splash in the league this year, and he's been kind of unreal to watch. But he's about to go head to head with Russell Wilson. MVP caliber type of play, Russell Wilson. He has been just getting it done. Whether Russell Wilson has to improvise and like run for 30 yards or he's tossing a bomb down the field to Tyler Lockett who ballerinas into the end zone. Like, it's just, that offense is crazy. So the game is just going to be good. And while the Baltimore Ravens defense is not the Ray Lewis, Ed Reed Baltimore defense, it's still a pretty good defense, and it's going to be interesting to watch their defenses go back and forth. It's like two franchises with defenses that have been legendary, but in recent years it hasn't been so much. It's going to be interesting to see. So at 4:25 on Sunday, you need to be in front of a TV watching that game because it's going to be a good one. So the next thing I want to talk about is the NBA, and I mean, the NBA season is coming, but I don't want to talk about basketball. Just last week, the Houston Rockets general manager, Daryl Morey, tweeted out what would you call it? It's like a piece of artwork, but it's in support of democratic values. He's talking about the protests that are happening in Hong Kong, and it's basically the anti-government protests, because we all know, like, that side of the world, they have different beliefs and views when it comes to government and how it runs. So Daryl Morey tweeted out this support for the Hong Kong protesters, and then 5 minutes later deleted it. And there's been a lot more backlash after LeBron has commented than I feel like I saw when it originally first happened. Like, the NBA has put out a statement, oh, Daryl Morey doesn't speak for the entirety of the NBA and blah, 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 blah. And then LeBron comes out and he's critical of Daryl Morey in his tweets, and he's more than critical. He says he's misinformed and uneducated about the topic that he was speaking on. I think the premise of what LeBron James was trying to get across was that the tweet came at a bad time. The tweet came at a bad time. That's not inaccurate. They're going over to that side of the world, and you have to be very cognizant of what you do when you're not in America, period. And you would be an idiot to think that you could go anywhere else to any other country and run your mouth off the way you do here when you're in America. Like, it's just, it's different. It's the way of life is different, and things happen differently in other countries, and especially if you don't speak the language. Players are going over there, and the players are going to have to be the ones who answer these questions. The players are going to be the ones who have to figure out how to navigate this situation that they have been thrust into. This is such a complex thing that talking about politics is just always going to bring up these like fiery emotions in people. This is like it's an international scandal now. An international scandal. All right, friends, that's a wrap for this episode of Katherine's Quarters. Thank you so much for joining me. I love doing this. Like, this is so much fun. I literally like start this and I'm so tired, and then by the end of it, I'm like super hyped up and like feel like I've drank 10 Red Bulls. It's insanity. But either way, thank you again for watching. I so appreciate it. And of course, like, if you guys want, like, I want to hear what you guys want me to talk about, or if you like have an opinion on certain topics, I love to hear from you guys. So make sure you hit the comment section below, even if it's just to say, hey girl. But also make sure you hit that subscribe button below so you don't miss out on any content. And as always, I'm going to be tweeting up a storm this weekend for the games, so hit me on Twitter too. We can have a little back and forth, share a couple of gifts. That's my favorite thing. I love, like, I'm so huge into those now. Like, anytime I post anything, I want it to have like a gift associated with it. So much fun, and it just like brings the tweet to life, gives it more personality. Obviously all of this personality can't be bottled up. I need it in tweets and everything. But of course, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you guys next week so we can talk about some more great stuff. We have so much happening. Like, the next couple of months are going to be insane for sports. World Series, the playoffs for the football is going to be here in a couple of weeks. Like, we got basketball season coming. It's just going to be phenomenal. You guys have to join me so we can just do this every single week, just over and over again. So much fun. Check you guys later. Have a good week.